Hi everyone, my name is Alex. Today I'm going to share with you my top 10 tips to improve your natural curls. And this will be super helpful for anyone that is newly transitioning, that's looking to wear their hair natural, people that have very thick hair like me. I'm your girl. I'm here to help as a previously transitioned natural from relaxed hair. I would love to help. So if this is something you're interested in, just keep watching. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so diving right in, I'm going to go through the 5 things to avoid. And this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just what came to mind and things that I find most helpful, so I wanted to share. So the first tip would be to avoid, and I have a list right here, so I'm referencing that. The first thing I would recommend doing is to avoid too much direct heat. That is your flat irons, curling irons, all that good stuff. You put that on your hair, you're gonna get things like, it's not a good example. You're gonna get things like this one. I straightened my hair for my wedding, a year and a half ago. And then the whole month after, I straightened my hair while I was in Europe. And this was the outcome. I had most of my hair tucked away in a sew-in, but the small pieces in the front here that are straight, it's because of that. And the curl has never come back. So that's just gonna need cut. So avoid straightening your hair too much. I see a lot of curlies typically straighten their hair once or twice a year. I think that's a good amount to get the look you're going for, and then you have to rewash and redo your hair. Definitely avoid direct heat if you can. Step number 2 is to avoid using thick oils in your hair. Thick oils like coconut oil, olive oil, all of that's very cringy. Don't do it. Similar to oil when it gets on your skin, if oil gets on your hair and gets on your scalp, it will not allow water to penetrate that area. Oil and water don't mix. The same thing could be applied for your hair. In order for your hair to become curly, it needs water to seep into it and it needs to become hydrated. So definitely avoid oils where you can. Now there are some lighter oils that some curly stylists say could work, like grapeseed oil, something a little lighter, but definitely talk to a curly hairstylist to get their recommendations on what oils you can use in your hair. But from my perspective, I never put oils in my hair ever. And I haven't been doing that for the last 2 years. The third step is to not overuse protective styles. And I will say when I went natural first, I think that was the big thing for me. I would dive into a protective style, as an example, a sew-in with super minimum leave out. Number 1, my leave out probably got heat damage unless I used the curly weave. That thing was getting damaged, and even when it was a curly weave, I used to have to curl it with a wand and it would still be a mess. So don't do that. Don't be like me. Also, when you do things like braids, etc., I do braids on my channel and I like braids. I love braids. The only issue with that is, for me, because I like to feel like I got my money's worth on the braids, I typically will wear them longer than I should, because you can keep braids in for like a month, 2 months, etc. But if you're not washing your hair properly while your hair is in braids, you are dehydrating your hair, which will make it harder for your hair to curl up. It's not necessarily that your hair would break off, but your hair will not be super dehydrated and not take the shape of a curl very easily after you take out braids. Also, when you get braids, they typically use a very waxy product to create those beautiful boxes. And that also makes it hard for water to penetrate your hair, which just makes it harder for your hair to curl back to its natural form. So that takes a lot of clarifying shampoo, a lot of washes, and a lot of like recovery. So don't overuse protective styles if you can manage to do that. The 5th, alright, so the 4th step to avoid is too much manipulation. One thing you'll probably notice is when you braid your hair in a braid out, etc., you're trying these new ways to wear your natural hair while you're transitioning and you still have a little bit of heat damage, but you want to wear your hair curly and avoid heat, and you're trying to figure all that out. Sometimes you can over manipulate your hair and just cause a little bit more breakage than you planned on. What I definitely noticed is I have a strong preference to wash and goes, which I've never used to be like that. Trust me, my hair would not, I'm looking at right at the camera, like right in the lens, to tell you my hair would not curl like this ever. Like my whole life, I would say, until the last like year and a half. And that's because I finally learned how to apply product and what products work for me. And I think the big key that I keep emphasizing is like the way in which that I apply the product, I think is huge. And washing my hair more often. But what I will say is when I do twist outs or braid outs, I notice I'll have longer strands of hair kind of broken off and just kind of sitting, because you have to kind of take your beautiful fro and then put a comb through it, braid your hair, let it air dry, and then take it out all over, take it out. Because you're creating these manually manipulated patterns that aren't natural for these curls. So they typically respond in a negative way, which is breakage. So if you can avoid doing those too often, like if you do one day a braid out and the next day a twist out, you can definitely feel confident that you might have some breakage because of just the sheer amount of times your fingers are going through your hair. My recommendation would be to kind of solidify a style. So you want to do a twist out that week. If it only lasts 4 days, then the next 2 days I would just put my hair in a low twist tie ponytail, or a clip is most ideal. Clips are really soft and not damaging on your hair. And I love these twist tie hair bands. I'll show you what they look like. These things are really amazing for not damaging your hair. Like I've had my hair in these at least 3 times this week, and they don't leave dents in your hair, and it's very low tension. So definitely try to avoid as much tension as you can on your hair so your natural hair can grow, if that's something you're interested in doing. The 5th step is to avoid bad products. Not everything works for everyone. So I know a big thing when I was in high school was Garnier Fruit Teas. That was like the go-to curly hair product. That does not work on my hair. My hair needs a lot more moisture. I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. I don't try to act like I am as far as knowing what's good regarding sulfates, etc. I just follow the Black Girl Curls regimen and their recommended product list, and I try to go based off that. And then I slightly have started dabbling into other things when I'm just trying to look for cheaper products. Just product lines that I've tried that I really like is Douche. I'll show you what it looks like. DOUX. Stuff's amazing. I really like Camille Rose. Not necessarily this product, but Camille Rose in general. I like As I Am. Those are kind of my go-to product lines, as well as Uncle Funky's. Love that as well. Inner Sense. All product lines I really like. Not every product is going to work for you in the same way that it works for someone else, so don't be discouraged if a product doesn't work. And those are mainly the top things I would completely avoid if possible. And then things to do and try to improve your natural curl. The big thing with your natural curls is to really expect that it's going to take time. So I guess the number 1 is to be patient with the process. You'll notice if you take like progress pictures for your hair, you will see it slowly becoming more curly if you don't have heat damage. So your roots are becoming a lot more manageable, smooth. They actually are taking the product and creating a wave. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for progress, not perfection, until you get bold and confident to cut off that heat damage. So just be aware of that. Like, as you can see, I haven't had a chance to go to a stylist to cut this part off. I could easily get bangs and make it work. I'm not looking for the bang look right now, so instead I have to spiral curl this one. But you see my natural curl pattern is a lot more like this. It's a lot more jagged. Not jagged, what is it? Kinky. So this is my natural curl pattern, but you see I'm kind of forced to create a fake curl using a shingling method and twirl. But it would look so much better if it was like this, right? So avoid heat damage if you can. Okay, something else you should do is take your time when applying products and use tools as necessary. So one big thing that I learned with Black Girl Curls is to use a Felicia Leatherwood brush, and that looks like this. And they recommend if it's missing spikes to like basically immediately throw it out, because I think you could just jagged your hair, could grab your hair and kind of rip out your hair if it's not these soft brush, not soft, these rounded tips. So definitely use tools when necessary. Tools help distribute your product properly. I on and off use tools and use my hands, it just depends. But basically you bring your tools in the shower, that's key. Bring your tools in the shower, work the shampoo and conditioner through your hair. Do the same thing when you're styling your hair. Be cautious to not overbrush your hair, otherwise you might manipulate your hair a little bit too much. And definitely take your time when applying your products. I love the Inner Sense shampoo and conditioner. One of them, at least one of them, has a little blurb on there which basically says like, take your time with this project, enjoy the moment of doing your hair. If you're very rushed through and you're kind of going like this through your shampoo and conditioner, you're basically creating friction and frizz on your hair. I'll do another video where I kind of show how I put the shampoo and conditioner in, but essentially like you should be smoothing your hair while you're putting the product in. That will allow that sleek, smooth look. Like this is day 3 hair. I've worked out twice for over an hour doing cardio and my hair is still good. And honestly, it could be bigger if I picked it out. I just don't like to pick out my hair because I like my hair to last all week. I don't like to wash my hair more than once a week if I don't have to. The next thing I will say is wash your hair very often. And when I say very often, I mean what makes sense to you, but my stylist recommended me to wash my hair once every 5 days. I typically do it once a week, once every 7 days. And my hair has maintained water much better because I'm getting shampoo on my hair every time, reconditioning my hair every time. I don't have to do deep conditioners. It's very rare that I use a deep conditioner, and if I do, it's just more so I think for finesse, but really I don't think it's necessary because I wash my hair every week and I use a hair steamer like once a month roughly, and that's not really even necessary either. I usually do stuff like that. I usually add extra moisture or hydration to my hair when I do something bad, like put braids in and leave them in for a month and only wash my hair once, like things like that. Then I try my best to create the recovery process a little better. So yeah, wash your hair often, take your time when applying products, read the product directions thoroughly is number 3 or 4 I think at this point. So 4, take your time reading the product. The products have directions on exactly how long you need to leave that leave-in conditioner in. Anything more or less than the time, or anything more than the time, will not make a difference. I've done some sort of product testing studies on that product to say 30 minutes is ideal, and you can stick to that and feel confident you're going to get the maximum results with the time allotted on the container. I'll say the same for applying products like the mousse that I love using. This one blatantly says do not put anything with it, and that kind of scares the crap out of me. Like, why would I not put a leave-in conditioner with this? But it says not to, and it's because it already has moisturizing products or conditioning agents in here, so you don't have to add a leave-in conditioner, and if anything, it helps. Leave-in conditioner prior to this won't allow it to work properly. Definitely read the instructions to your product. It might help improve your results. And the last thing I will say is to use heat to set your curls in place once you're done styling. So once you're done styling, whether it's doing a twist out, braid out, wash and go, etc., sit underneath a hooded dryer and dry your hair. The only thing I use a diffuser for on my hair is just the ends, and that's strictly because my hair is a little too long for the hooded dryer that I have. So I still have to go in and do my ends at the end, and I never scrunch up because I focus on elongating my curls. So it's very rare that I would scrunch up. I always hold the diffuser at an angle when I do use it. So sit underneath the hooded dryer. What the hooded dryer does and why heat is important for natural hair in a non-direct way is that it locks in the hair in the position that you set it in. So if you go under the dryer and your hair is more poofy than you prefer it to look, you know the hair is not going to turn out as you would hope. So if you do your wash and go and then your hair is already out to here, you probably didn't use enough product or enough water, one or the other. Just know whatever you put into the hooded dryer is what will come out of the hooded dryer. So just something to keep in mind. I know this was a lot. I will write all the recommendations or tips in the description box below. I hope this was helpful for you. If you found this video helpful, if you want to see more videos like this about products I recommend, tips I've done, transitioning styles while you're trying to transition from straightish hair, and I'll insert a picture, to curly hair. If so, leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know what kind of videos you'd like to see more of. Happy to work on those for you. Give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. It helps me out with the algorithm, lets people know to come to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.